Well, hello there. Me and Sarge welcome you to Conversational Shaving. As you can tell, he's thrilled as usual. Our pronouns are he and him. And like I said, welcome. Say hello to the nice people, Sarge. Okay, there you go. Well, he's just purring away there. Okay, well, I'm sorry that I didn't have a video up on Sunday. Usually I have one that is posted very early Sunday morning, but let's see. And then I do that on Saturday night usually, but Friday I wasn't feeling well, and Thursday I spent the afternoon in Wichita, Kansas, where I used to live with my grandmother and my mother. And well, one of the places we visited, a friend and I, my friend Jason and I went down there. We visited a place called the Spice Merchant, which is in the old Mentholatum building. And that's why today, and by the way, Mentholatum was invented in Wichita by the Yucca Soap Company, which used to be right across the street from there. And then later they built a factory, also a bigger factory, 5-story factory in Buffalo, New York. I'm going to be using what's left, or some of what's left of this Mentholatum shave cream. It's from Japan. The only bad thing about it is that it is brushless cream. But instead of a disposable razor like I used last Tuesday, I think it was, I'm going to use this Gillette Flare Tip Super Speed razor. And in there, on what will be its second use, will be a Personna Blue blade. So there we go with that. Let me see here. And I'm just going to go ahead and start putting on some of this cream, that is. Incidentally, before I got on camera, I prepped my face with Village Barber shaving oil. So there we have it. Mentholatum, the ointment, was very big in Japan, and after the war, they were glad to have it back. And there's a Japanese company, I believe they own Mentholatum now, or at least they own it for the overseas distribution. So this I just put on my face, like so. I've tried to get it to lather before, but I could never make it do that. I guess it's not meant to. Although I might try a little experiment one of these days to see if there is a way to get it to lather. But right now, I'm just applying it as it was evidently designed to be applied by hand. It seems like it doesn't foam or lather. Kind of bothers me. I'm starting to run out of this stuff. I don't know if I'll order more or not. I was disappointed when I found out that it wasn't a cream I could easily use with a brush. Oh boy, I think I'm starting to run out. I hope I have enough for the shave. Okay, there we go. And I'll put the lid back on this. There we are. Like that. Pass number 1 with the grain. Some of this may have dried. I had to run and tend to something. But here we go. Yeah, Mentholatum was invented by a man named A.A. Hyde. And in both Wichita and Buffalo, New York, where he had factories, he was also very philanthropic, and he had schools and parks named after him, and whatever else. His big 5-story factory in Buffalo, New York is now apartments, called the Mentholatum Apartments of all things. And his smaller original factory or headquarters in Wichita is now a place that sells coffee, tea, and spices. My friend Jason that drove me down to Wichita, he took some coffee and tea home to his family, to his wife anyway. I don't think his kids necessarily drink coffee or tea. I don't know. Excuse me, I'm going to rinse the razor here. And even though it's only supposed to be the second use on this blade, it's not very smooth. Makes me think that at some point I quit putting a little dot with a Sharpie on the blade every time I used it. So maybe I lost count, but I don't think so. Should only be the second use for this blade. Okay. Actually, I was wrong. I double checked on there. There were 2 dots marked, so this is the third use on this blade, but it still shouldn't be this rough. Maybe I missed a time or two marking the blade after each use, but I don't think so. Usually I'm pretty good about that. Instead of using some dice or something like that, I simply mark the blades with, put a dot on them with a Sharpie permanent marker. That way I usually know how many times I've used a blade, except for maybe an injector blade where there's not much room for marking. And gem type blades where the markings just rub right off, even if you use a permanent Sharpie type marker. Okay, I'll be back in a moment for pass number 2 across the grain. I also took a picture of an old Valentine diner that I found in a lot behind a fence. It might be being used as a small office for a car lot or something now. And Valentine diners were made of stainless steel, I believe it was, and or aluminum. And they were shipped all over the country. They were made in Wichita. You can still find a great many of them today. And then, if you can see it all right, it was a little bit dark, but here's some window dressing in the Beacon restaurant in Wichita. The sign, the little framed sign, says something to the effect of, "No, we don't have Wi-Fi." pretend it's 1995 and actually talk to one another, or something, words to that effect anyway. The Beacon restaurant is probably so named because it used to be next door to the Wichita Eagle and Beacon newspaper plant, which has since moved. Now, some other businesses that originated in Wichita, Kansas are Pizza Hut, which is known all over the world pretty much, and White Castle hamburgers, which are only in the eastern and part of the Midwestern United States. There are none left in Kansas anymore. In 1938, they moved their headquarters to Columbus, Ohio, I think. And Pizza Hut was sold to PepsiCo, makers of Pepsi-Cola, who later sold it to somebody else, Yum Brands, Y-U-M, Yum. That's the big conglomerate that also owns Taco Bell and so forth. Okay, let me rinse again. Boy, it takes a while to rinse that gunk out of the razor. Let's see. The blade is shaving a little bit more smoothly now, thank goodness. Maybe it's because I wet my hand before I applied the cream this time. Okay, I'll be right back for pass number 3, against the grain. Okay, here we go. Against the grain, I'll start on my neck this time. Also went to a shipping container mall down in Wichita, a tiny little shopping area where the shops are all made out of shipping containers. Very interesting. There's probably an even larger one of those in Oklahoma City and possibly Tulsa, maybe Dallas. Yeah, there's homes made out of shipping containers, and now there's stores, shops, little malls made entirely of shipping containers. Well, there was a kind of a little wooden deck going around a sort of a sandy area with some lawn furniture and a fire pit too. And there was one old building that looked like kind of a stone cottage. I don't know what it was originally. Maybe it was a house, maybe it was a business, maybe it was both. But they sort of built the mall around that, deciding not to tear the old cottage down and to incorporate it into the little business area there. This type of cream, which is meant to be applied by hand, seems like it gunks up the razor pretty much, quite a bit. Yeah, the shave is smoother, but the blade does not seem to be mowing down the whiskers like it might normally. Not as easily, anyway. So maybe I missed one or two times counting when I had used this blade, but I think it's definitely time to be retired after this shave. Usually these Personna Blue label blades are pretty good for me. They had become my go-to blade for a very long time, at least a couple of years, I think. Okay, rinse time. All right. Okay, I'll be right back and then it'll be pickup time. Okay, Sarge, what time is it? It's pickup time. Yay, there's a magical clock. Right, Sarge? Okay, alright, there you go. Thank you. It's pickup time, everybody. Can barely see it, but I do have a layer that I put on my neck there. I'm running out of the Mentholatum brushless cream there. Made in Japan. I'll be back to normal shaving soon. That is, shaving with a brush. And even though a brush wasn't required with this cream, at least I am using a rather classic shaving A safety razor, I mean, this time. It's a nice smelling cream, but it doesn't really smell, in my opinion anyway, in my experience, I don't think it smells like actual mentholatum, the ointment. And for those of you that don't know what mentholatum is, it's kind of like green vapor rub with a slightly different scent. Instead of a cobalt blue bottle, it came in a little green glass bottle. And now I believe it comes in a green plastic bottle. I don't know if mentholatum predates vapor rub or not. I suspect it might. Oh, the cat's escaping. You want out, Sarge? Go ahead. Cat's had enough of this. Okay, I'm kind of running over time here. Well, that's about all for the shaving portion of the show. I'm going to rinse my face and rinse the razor. I'll be right back with Mr. Towel. Time to dry off with Mr. Towel here. Ooh, yeah. And after I'm finished drying my face here, I'll begin a brief recap and put the finishing touches on the shave. I don't believe I got any weepers on this shave, at least, or if I did, they were very tiny. And the cold water probably would have closed them up. Okay, put Mr. Towel back where he goes, and I'll begin a brief recap. I began off camera. I prepped my face with Village Barber shaving oil. My razor has been this twist to open Gillette Flare Tip Super Speed razor. And in there, on I guess what was actually its third use, was a Personna Blue label blade. My shaving cream has been this Mentholatum shaving cream from Japan, which I'm almost out of. A brushless cream, sadly. And let's see, I think that about covers it for now, so I'm going to reach over and get some of the Dickinson's Witch Hazel. Put some of this on my face. Get it started in my hand there. This is 14% alcohol by volume, making it an astringent, a mild astringent. Okay, very nice. That's the Dickinson's Witch Hazel. Now reaching over here again, I'm going to apply some of the Osage Rub, which has a nice menthol scent to it and feel. I can get the little cap off here. Yeah. Get some of that going in my hand. Okay, put a little bit on the wrists, up behind the ears, temples, back of the neck. Oh, that's wonderful. That smells more like mentholatum than the mentholatum shaving cream did. So, that is the Osage Rub aftershave splash. And finally, I'm going to finish with some of the Nivea Men Original Replenishing Post-Shave Balm. I have one more bottle of this, and I'm going to have to get some more if it's still available. I have to buy this online. It's the only place I can find the original. Okay, that's about it. And once again, that's the Nivea Original Replenishing Post-Shave Balm. And I gotta get out of here. I'll see you later. Peace.